Hello, good afternoon. It is Wednesday at 4:26 Eastern Time Zone, and I am breaking down this tropical system right here. This is a tropical wave. It has actually crossed the whole main development region, which is the area from these islands right here until Africa in that direction. Now it is in the Eastern Caribbean and is looking more likely than ever that it will develop, most likely in the next day or two. So, with that all, I have an idea of where this system is going, but there's still a lot of uncertainty, and I'm going to cover all of that in this video. So let's get right into it. Starting off, we're going to use our GFS model. This is the Global Forecast System. If you're new, this is the one done by the NHC, and this is from America. This system loves to spin up big storms, so of course it spins it up, keeps it strong, takes it right over Haiti, and then it somehow just stalls there. That is an option, but I do not think it's going to stall like that or get this strong. I do think that this direction is a good potential possibility, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But it does show it re-strengthening, and then as we head into the end of the month, we are seeing it get taken into some sort of big low pressure system. So that's the GFS. What does the European model show? This is usually the most trustworthy of our physics-based models. It does pretty well. I've really liked it this year. Last year, I didn't care for it. It never caught any systems developing early last year. But this year, it's done quite well. So, we'll see what it's going to do. What it wants to do this time is it forms it up, but keeps it stalled there, as this front here is not picking it up because it is slightly weaker, and it moves to the west before the front then picks it up at high strength and then really pushes it out to sea, then over Bermuda maybe. Now let's check our third model that I like to use. This is the Canadian model, and this one, I have not seen much potential in this model, but it does show quite a westward option. It doesn't even form it now. It may form it as a tropical storm, but it doesn't get it strong until it's like just about in the Yucatan Peninsula, and then it explodes the system, makes it go right over Cuba, over the Bahamas, and again right into this low pressure system. Now, this is one of the favorite models. I like this one. It's deterministic, and it has done extremely well this year. Didn't do super well last year, but this year it's been amazing. And here it is. It likes to try to spin it up, but see here, it stalls it over that area, bringing heavy moisture, brings the moisture to the west, but never forms it back up. It just kind of becomes nothing. I think this would become just a bad scenario for those in the DR and Haiti. But outside of that, that would be a good scenario. Now, moving on to the ensembles, this is our Euro ensemble. I like showing these because it shows all the range of possibilities. Like, we have systems going into the Yucatan Peninsula. Of course, that's not going to happen. But we have them as east as maybe the very western Dominican on this model run. But it keeps all these over here weak and kills them out. Otherwise, it brings the rest a lot further west, and then just to the west of Jamaica, it wants the average pulls it to the north. And a lot of the models do pull it somewhere to the north at a strong intensity. The GFS ensembles, on the other hand, are pretty consistent on this system, either going over Haiti or the Dominican Republic, with some outliers over Jamaica or Cuba. And I think this scenario is more likely, as we do have more models showing something like this. If this scenario does end up happening, though, I'm going to just say the GFS did super well with this one. But again, shows it getting quite strong, bringing it to the north and out somewhere out here. Even in this model, not super consistent. Now, this is the last model I really love to show here. This is our Google Weather Lab AI model. And this one shows 50 different possibilities. I'm not sure how many possibilities they're actually showing on here, but the average does take it right into Haiti, but then brings it to the west and then back to the north. I think that particular scenario is not quite likely. Better scenario is it would probably do something, stall it out, move it to the west, then take it to the north. It could do it further north, but again, less consistent. This model run, more consistently taking it to the north and not doing much with it. So that's what I think is going to happen with this system. Although the westward possibility is still open. But if this continues, I think we'll definitely know what's going to happen by tomorrow, because our core is really getting together. If we look back at our satellite imagery, the last little bit here, we do see that burst of convection, and I'm starting to see a lot of rotation. So I think by tonight or early tomorrow, we're going to get a name storm. And I believe that's all for the tropical talk. Now, let's move on to the actual weather across the U.S., as we do have a section on this every time. First of all, we have this trough that had our big weather system over the weekend. That is going to move out quite fast, and we're going to have another system that is going to bring some lingering, just some rain, and will give us some cooler air. We'll look at that in the other models, but also another key thing to look at is we have a tiny disturbance here over here. The models are hinting maybe some severe weather with this system, especially the GFS. And that might happen at about the same time as this. It depends really what the other scenarios play out. And further out beyond this, we're quite uncertain. But as you can see here, it seems to keep it quite active with multiple systems. And it takes us actually into a cold lock-in kind of pattern in this model run, particularly. Not every model run does this. This is like one of the few. I would say ignore this for a bit. We'll see it on a model, but again, I'm going to ignore it. So here's what that's going to look like. We are going to have this system again move out. We're going to have some moisture up here in Canada, maybe some snowfall. Again, we're going to have our cool air dip down a little bit, and it's going to produce some lake effect rain in pretty much every area. It's still not cool enough for it to produce snow, though, so we're definitely seeing it get there with the lake effect rain. And here's our little other disturbance here. It's producing some severe weather. I don't really see it being a big severe weather producer. Beyond this, again, not super certain, but it shows a big system producing a lot of severe weather before pulling in some cool air and winter lock-in. Again, that is 16 days out. Things change way a ton beyond the 7 days that I just showed. I would say we know about what's going to happen through Monday. Here's what our temperature anomalies are going to look like over the next little bit. Again, we're going to have some cooler than average temperatures over here, and warmer than average temperatures over here in the southeast and the west. And pretty soon enough, that is going to change, as we're going to have another system really battle with the warm air, most likely. And beyond this, we have no clue what's going to happen. The GFS, again, showing way below average temperatures over here, way above average temperatures over here. This would be a crazy weather pattern. But again, looking at our previous model run, we, again, aren't super sure. Now, our European model. This is a really great model. I think it's more realistic on cool weather. It does do a little less snow included. So that's its bias, I would say. GFS is a little more snow. Euro is a little less snow usually. And again, it shows this swirling system, brings some cooler air. And at the same time, as this moves out, we're going to have some sort of severe weather down here in the south. And it's going to be rather slow moving. And then some sort of big system as we head into early next week. And I think this one, it's starting to look like it could be a big severe weather producer. But again, we are over a week out, so I'm not going to cover it in depth. I'll probably cover it more in depth later this week and early next week based on what changes. And that's about as far out as that model goes. As far as temperature anomalies, again, it does not show... It shows actually quite a bit below average temperatures there. And then we get a warm bit, and then we have our cool air is just going to fight with it for a while. And then it seems like beyond that, we're not sure. So I believe that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later this week once we get a better idea of what's happening with the system, probably Wednesday or Thursday. And we'll be tracking this and potentially some bigger storms early next week. So with that said, this is WTHR-X, and I'll see you very, very soon.